Yo, guys, yo, listen up, listen up, listen up. Yo, so today is the day that now I met up with Kayan Vega, aka Clone, got him up in this business. Now, you remember he promised us to tell us about his music career, about his journey. He went through some anxiety, some depression, and he had a lot to do with coming into this music stuff, or even like in life in general. You do remember that. So we got the big boy back here. So now he's here to give us some of that value. He's telling us what happened. How was his music career? How did he cope with anxiety? Right? Or what happened during his depression? How did he deal with all that? How is he dealing with all that right now? Because apparently he's still going through that. You understand? So right now, Kaya's gonna be here. Guys, stay tuned. Make sure you also get some pointers for yourself so that you also find out how you can also deal with your own situation. And I know there's a lot of inspired musicians out there who are also looking into going to this music stuff. You also need to know what to expect and how to go with this thing. So stay tuned.
Right, people. So it's time. You know it.
Yes, sir.
You know it.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So I got the guy John back on the podcast to finally tell us about his music career, about his past, about his experience, his journey.
Yep.
You know the drill, you know. So he was just here telling us okay, he's having quite an actually dope journey in his music, and also he actually went quite through a lot coming into the journey, and he had to face some very
Scary shit.
shit.
Yeah.
So we're about to hear about that. So you know what's up, right? So
Yeah.
what's up, my big guy?
I'm good, brother man. How are you?
I'm fantastic, as you
Yeah,
can see, you know.
can't complain.
About
beautiful
nothing.
day, you know, it's sunny. Can't complain about anything.
Beautiful day, innit? Right, so tell us, my guy. So this is Big Boy Clone again.
Yep.
I just had to do it again. Just had to say it.
Clone, you know what's up. You know what's up. Clone is the
When you
beast.
see Clone, you just have to say Clone.
You know what's up. You know
Right.
what's up.
So Clone, bro, we've heard songs.
Yep.
Sound.
Yep.
That shit is fire. So what inspired you to go into music?
Shit. Okay, so obviously I grew up in Mzinyati. Mzinyati, like how people look at Mzinyati right now and how I grew up in Mzinyati is two different worlds, to be quite honest with you. Because at that time, Mzinyati was like a rural area. And when we grew up, we used to Hamsiolu, Skratwe and whatnot. That is the environment I came from. But the music part mainly comes from the family, to be honest with you. It mainly comes from the family. Yeah. My mom is a good singer. She was named Uprenda. That is a middle name because of how she can sing.
Like Brenda Fassie.
Like Brenda Fassie, exactly.
way.
Exactly. And then Brenda Fassie happens to be one of my influences in terms of music because of how she was very dynamic in the yeah, she was a beast. So music part, like how personally I went into music. I was in church choir. I grew up in school and at that time.
Church choir.
Yeah.
Like, can anybody tell this nigga goes to church?
Bro, I was a president of Sunday school. Like, don't let looks deceive you. I was good. Once upon a time, I was good.
Right.
You know.
What do you mean, man? Nigga, you're still dope right now.
So like that was the element of like the background of music. You know what I mean? Then thereafter, when my parents got married, then I moved to Avoca.
Yeah.
So in Avoca, that is where now the English parts and the niggerish, how they used to classify us, like these are niggers and whatnot. That is how I was able to found now my own sound. And obviously I had friends like, shout out to Chira, the dog. You know, that's one person who influenced me because I was a poet at first.
What?
Yeah, I was writing poetry for girls and whatnot, you know, being a player, being slick. Then he just took my poet's book one time and he played the beats and he rapped everything that I wrote, and he was like, bruh, you can write some good shit about this. And I was like, shit, you know, let me give it a try. Who knows? Let me just give it a try. And I did give it a try. And obviously with rap, it's some people it comes natural. For some people you need to practice in order for you to perfect your craft. You know what I mean? So that is how I came about. So the name Clone, because obviously as a rapper you need a name. It's very funny.
How did the name Clone come up?
It's very funny, né?
How did it come up?
Let me check out my classes for this one. So there is a guy from Avoca, Mfanele Kamalaki.
Yeah.
We used to call him Ben Tennyson because he was so much into animation and he liked Ben 10 at the time. So we called him Ben 10. So we looked alike, but we didn't know each other.
All right.
You know, like when someone sees me, it's like, "Bemas funnel."
Like, no.
Like, who the fuck is that? You know, and nah, yeah, they will ask him, "Yamaska, eh?" You know, so when we finally saw each other, because of how people used to ask a lot of questions, we just embraced it. Was just something so fucking amazing. And he became my older brother in a sense, because he's older than me, and he became my older brother. So he was like, "You my clone."
Oh, where?
You know, and it was like, "You my clone." So when I went to the music part, it was very, that is where you should know that you don't fuck with me when it comes to mindset, dog. So my name clone, I took it and I put it in music, in a sense that I am clone because I can clone myself in any genre. Dope, nah? That's fucking sick, nah? Yeah, so I can clone myself in any genre. But mainly in terms of music stream, obviously you start to find yourself. Right now, I only speak about Inanda because that is where I grew up. A lot of people in Inanda, they view it in some scary way, and which is right. Like, you motherfuckers will be talking crazy about Inanda, but you motherfuckers don't want to pull up on that place because you know what's up, nigga. Okay, nah, you know what's up. You guys don't play games with us, Inanda. You know what's up. Like, that is why I speak of Inanda.
Yeah.
Like, it's easier for me. It's easier. As much as in Kulele Avoka, but I have no relations at Avoka. I just went there because I was like, what? I was 12. You're almost a man there, like so growing pubic hair, like Avoka. What didn't there was no, that's in there wasn't anything here. Say Avoka, it's pointable and say, hey, right now as I'm standing as a man, like, you know, it starts from no. The main foundation, it started from home. You know, home is Mzinyati. So that's Zinanda basically, and all the things that I grew up born, like scary shit, the good things. It's mainly Inanda. So that is why, like, when I rap, majority of the time you'll hear me saying 4310 or maybe Inanda, because that is what I represent basically.
So you're telling me you go to the biggest part of a clone was formed in that?
Yeah, that's the biggest part, because if you go Inanda, right, and you ask who's clone, most people know who's clone rather than Ukaye.
Oh yeah.
But so it was like, because yabona uma ngifike ngasekhaya, it's like mangifike emzinyathi, like I khona and then there's niggerish part njalo ngishile yabo. So ubusizweni bami, when I come ngungulu bencane ngibafazefaze ngisengwa ngimile upipi liyanuka ipitso ligwedla mihla namalanga lisoze lakuncisha amanzi. You know, like that is the establishment of ubone ukuthi how diverse I am. I'm that type of person who can go to your house with you, seriously, and do everything, because that is how we grew up.
This nigga's versatile, guys.
Yeah,
have to,
guys. Like, do not run away from who you are, because at the end of the day, you're not gonna find who you are. Basically, if you understand what I'm trying to say, you understand what I'm trying to say. If you don't, then you're dumb.
And where you come from actually plays a big part in who you're forming into. Like, not forgetting where you're coming from and mix it with who you're trying to be. That literally just gives like the true value. I feel like that's how you actually get to be the person who you want to be. You cannot just change your whole personality.
Nah, you can't.
But you gotta keep that little person that was inside of you. You cannot just take that person and shove him in the bin. And be like, I'm no longer that person. No, you gotta remember some of the things that you
like,
keep them in you.
Like you see, like with what you just said, like, I feel Uguti Ukaya is a different person, and Uklone is an outer demon Gakai. Ukaya is a outer ego, but I don't want to call it an ego as such, because the ego, sometimes people misinterpret it. I mean, it's ego talk about ego. As much as people can say outer ego, it's easier. It's a nicer terminology. But I want to say, for me as Uklone is an outer demon. It's not an outer ego. He's an outer demon, because that is a person who is so strong, in a sense, you can never break that motherfucker. Ukaya, you can break Ukaya at any given time. There's certain things you can say to Ukaya, you can feel it.
Then it fold,
but
then
you know, Uklone will come in. Like, when he comes out, he's different. Yeah, he's different. He's another beast. He's another beast. You know what I mean? So, like, I feel Uguti, if everyone have different personalities.
Yeah.
And it's just the mere fact of you understanding Uguti, which personality belongs where.
Yeah.
You understand?
Yeah. So from that, I get the feel Uguti. You somehow told us Uguti, you kind of went through some shit back then.
Yeah.
So, and Uklone was born sometime eventually in your life, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So I feel like when you're saying Ukaya, you can break him and it folds at some point. I feel like Ukaya is sick of dealing with all that bullshit.
Exactly.
So whenever you put him through, he'll be like,
I'm tired. Why don't you bring this guy?
And then
you know,
comes in.
Yeah, and so he's always willing to fight.
So really, What did Kaya go through?
Hey, my nigga, like there's a lot of things a person will go through, and mainly for me, I feel like family is the biggest contributor to anyone's demise, basically. They I feel like with family as well, like a lot of people, bruh, in family, they have their own agendas, and
Through entitlement.
you know what I
and
mean.
Stuff.
So for me, I feel like my family was the main contributor to majority of the stuff that I went through. You know, like we don't have a platform where we can speak.
About
Umuyingane, uyingane,
yeah, plus they be like,
you know.
cousin-in-law now.
Yeah, but like so. For an example, Mina, I'm a very vocal person. Like I'm a very vocal person, and my dad is more reserved, and my mom is more like me.
Yeah.
So, Maoya said a lot, but it was those type of things where you were not able to communicate your feelings. You know, like be like in a sense of Uguti, hey, you know, today I went through this, like that, like that, like that. Not necessarily Uguti, there is anything you want from them, but
Yeah,
just
but
someone to listen
just
to you.
to
You know what I mean?
listen.
But if you keep these emotions bottled up inside
it
on a
get pretty
daily,
dismissed all the
you know what I'm
time.
saying? Because you have value things that no one is gonna pay attention. It's to be like, ah, you wanting attention. They're always gonna associate it with negativity. So it was like those type of things, and fortunately, and maybe unfortunately, I was able to go abroad. You know, I studied. I did computer sciences in India. I've been to 7 countries: India, China, Thailand, Dubai, Ethiopia, Kenya, and did I mention Thailand?
Yeah, you already mentioned.
All right, and Nepal. So those are the countries I've been in, and those are the countries that molded me, made me, and broke me at the same time.
Okay.
Because of racial slurs.
I was
And,
about to ask that because some of the countries you asked are kind of like
yeah, like
down and everything, you
to be
know.
quite honest, like as a black person, no matter where you travel, no matter where you go, like even kwama customs, you're coming with your bags, the way they treat you, we are born with it. It's not the same way they just treated that person just because of your skin color. Like I won't paint everyone in the same brush. Like I had dreadlocks at the time, and some people in India, for an example, like they have this god on Inwele, which is called Lord Shiva.
Okay.
Yeah, so Lord Shiva had dreadlocks, and he was smoking weed. So when they saw me, they were like in that part of maybe I'm like a reincarnation and whatnot. It was overwhelming at times.
So
But
they used to appreciate that.
yeah.
Oh, way.
And it was a good part, but there were some other parts where you would see, okay, this one is really racial. So even when I was in India, I feel like that is where the handling of pressure, it was too much. You know, with home, being away from home, not like even in a way like okay, I can talk to anyone, but being away from home and being alone and being in this place where now again you can't even talk to anyone. You're going to school, you're coming back, you're in your dome, you're going to school and coming back, you're in your dome.
So now it's really pushing
You
you
know,
deep, like,
it's exactly. So even with the people that you are friends with, it's just I used to be outgoing in South Africa, India. Like we'd go out with guys, we'd
sit
do,
around.
you know, like see sightseeing and so forth. But as time went by, I ended up going to the shell, you know, like being in my room more and more and more. And that is where the music part became a risk.
This is where
You know what I mean?
express myself.
Exactly. Like before I left, there was this guy. Hey, I don't know if I should talk about this, but anyways, you know yourself, you know what you did, and you can never expect us to be tight again. Like nigga, you were my childhood friend, and you did some weird shit. But anyways, I wrote a diss song, and in this diss song, I felt Uguti. That is where I was able to understand writing with emotion and writing with intelligence.
Yeah.
And as an artist, you should be able to balance the two. You shouldn't have one that is leading another. You know, when you're gonna write about emotions, you might express yourself too much to the point where after maybe a week or 2 months, when you listen to that song, you're like, shit, that is not me. You know. Then Masu, when you writing with like your mind and intelligence, you know, again,
you can
probably
analyze it.
other people might not relate.
Oh yeah, because
You know,
if you go too much,
you know what I'm saying, then other people might not relate. Like for an example, like there is a part that I dropped that said, you can put me on a shooting range, so I jumped the gun. Clone is on that rampage. Oh yes, that nigga dumb. The truth is hard to swallow because every day we eat lies. We all wear different watches, but I swear they tell the same time. Like if you're a normal person, like when I drop that, you're gonna be like, okay. But if you're a person who understands rap, you're gonna be like, shit. This guy just said what is, because if up a shooting range, basically it's where people have guns, right?
Yeah.
So, but the way I'm going with it is that I jumped the gun. I'm on the shooting range. I'm under fire, but I'm still jumping a gun. I don't give no fucks.
No fucks at
You know what
all.
I mean? Then they put me on the shooting range, so I jumped the gun. Clone is on that rampage. Oh yes, that nigga dumb. Like I ain't thinking about anything else. I'm just going.
mowing
You know what I'm saying?
everything down and stuff. Yeah.
We all wear different watches, but that's where they tell the same time.
time.
Just because you're wearing a Rolex, but when it's time for you to die, you're gonna die eventually.
Yeah, we all learn the
know what I
same
mean?
pathway in life. So
Exactly.
we all come from birth all the way to death.
Exactly.
What matters
exactly.
is what we do in the path.
Yep. Yep.
know?
Yep. So it's those type of things, and for me, I feel Uguti when I write music, I used to write music with because we listen to all Lil Wayne.
Yeah, you pick up a
like
lot
you know,
from
like
those.
in school, people used to call me Wayne because in every single thing, Engang Yenza, it was mainly influenced by Wayne.
Anyway,
So,
it's only right.
but now I am me.
So now you found you. So this is the person who I am. And
Exactly.
what I'm actually becoming. So I got a question in this part whereby you talked about family. You talked about how family played a big part in like pushing you back into that shell.
Yeah.
Right, if I can say.
Yeah.
So did it ever come to a point where you felt like you said, now I don't even want them to understand me?
That is where I'm at right now. To be honest with you, that is where I'm at because I've seen people who had dreams in my family and family members actually helped those people to achieve those dreams. And for me, it was like, you want to do music,
It's crazy.
you know? And I was like, yeah, I want to do music,
music?
you know? And they were like, but that's not a career, you know? Like you know what I'm saying? And I wanted to do sound engineering, to be honest with you. And they were like, nah. My mom was like, you wanna go you wanna do this thing in class? And like, okay, no, yo, fuck, you know? Because
you know, nigga bringing in some James up in his
You know?
shit. He dropping some
you know,
James.
like
Yeah.
you wanna do that shit. You wanna do that is what you wanna do for the rest of your life. And you need to understand, I'm coming from an educated family.
Yeah, like also
My,
the
my,
cultural.
yeah,
right?
like my grandfather, Umkhulu wami, he was the first black person in South Africa who by manager Coca-Cola.
Damn.
Exactly. That is a huge accomplishment for a
Bruh.
black man. You know? So when I went abroad, I was the first one to do it within my family.
So,
You know? So some other things you need to understand that some people, especially Mkampo and whatnot, when they look at that opportunity that you actually going abroad, they're gonna look at their kids and say, why my son didn't do this? So that's where envy comes about, dog. You know, that's where envy comes about.
envy,
You know?
You know.
And that is where the relationship and everything just goes south. Because now, as much as you can say, Uguti, hey, I'm your relative, but deep down, you don't wish me well.
You don't wish me well.
You know what I mean? You
Right.
don't wish me well.
Guys, so guys, the clone has been all today. Guys.
But I'm still going strong, bro. Still going strong.
Some of the things you might think you're the only one going through them. It's crazy. Me, I didn't expect to go to. I had so much to relate with the nigga, but you see the nigga, he's dropping some gems.
Yep.
He's dropping some gems out here. So now, how are you dealing with all that shit? Because I can tell somehow, good, at some point you're still dealing with some of that pressure,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I'm picking that as you speak. It's okay, so I can feel it.
It's a journey, obviously.
Yeah.
It's a journey.
So currently, how are you handling that?
I'll be quite honest with you. Right now, I'm at peace with myself.
Because okay, I feel like maybe you know your path, you know what you're
Yeah.
into, you know what you want, you know what you're doing. So
Exactly.
You keep in your own lane and just proceed forward.
Exactly. I'm a person who I realized, Uguti, I was so dependent on a lot of people. Like I wanted their approval for me to move forward, you know. And when that approval wasn't happening, then it's a dissatisfaction to me. And for them, their life is still carrying on. So you see now, Uguti, when basically you basically in a loop or you in a vicious cycle based on because of law approval. Yeah. So it was a mere fact of self-understanding and understanding your weaknesses and your strengths, and be able to say I have a problem.
Yeah.
because majority of us are so stubborn.
able to
You know, people don't want to say I have a
It's
problem.
arrogant.
Exactly,
You
they don't want to
want
say I have a problem.
identify that in yourself.
Yeah, so I was able to say I have a problem. I went through counseling, you know, and shout out to that lady. I don't know her name, I forgot her, but yeah,
But you never
that's
forgot her in your life.
yeah, never,
Yeah,
never,
yeah,
never.
yeah.
She was the one who actually the conversations that we used to have. It was like I'm talking to a mother.
Yeah.
You know, I was able to speak about everything and anything. When it came a time for tears, she'd be like, "Cry, bruh."
Just
You
let it
know,
out.
just let it all out. And when I did that, I realized, Tuguti, this was just an emotional burden. It wasn't like um you are actually a problem or anything. It's just that you have a
That's what I
problem.
was about to say, Maka. We can't really blame you for like expecting all that from all those
Yeah.
people because at like 95% of the time, they're the one who put you under the impression that I got your back.
You know what I mean?
And then when you expect them to have your back, then they step back.
You're like, how? And then ganjan.
Yeah, and
You
then
know
you
what I mean?
start going back with like,
Yeah.
guys.
Exactly. So
know.
nje mfethu, like, to be honest, ukuthi abantu abaningi mfethu, and futhi ngendlela esikhuliswe ngayo, yabo, if you're a guy, you find it very hard ukuthi ukhulume nomunye umuntu ngenkinga zakho.
Yeah.
Yabo, and I feel like that is where we as guys, we're actually going south. Yabo, I'll be honest with you, mfethu. Yabona, and ladies, I'm not saying this is for everyone, but if you're a person who lives in South Africa right now and you're a realist, not a feminist, again, I'm going to repeat, you're a realist and not a feminist, you're going to understand what I'm about to say. Right now, women are living in Pilo. You know, there was a lecture, there was a lecture who said to us, who are the biggest inventors in life in the whole world? People said Europeans,
Okay.
you know, Chinese and whatnot, and you were like, you're all wrong. Africans.
Because if you think about it, all of those inventors, they had African slaves and they took most of those inventions
Exactly.
as their own.
Exactly.
Leonardo da Vinci,
You know,
I don't want to mention
exactly,
too many names.
exactly. Like, bruh, who cares? A light, you know, a light. When we were in India, we had 3 girls who were doing electrical and astronomy, something course. Those girls were able to make an engine, like what you call this, case, what you plug in,
Generator.
a generator. They created a generator that uses your urine sample in order for it to generate electricity.
So you just piss on it?
Piss on that motherfucker. We should piss on Ramaphosa, by the way.
Guys, imagine if your piss could work as electricity.
Yeah,
my nigga.
exactly.
Damn.
Now that is the mindset, and that is where he was going with that. So and he said something along the lines of the main thing that the colonialists did on the Africans was to give them education with no information.
With no information. So just teach them what we want them to know.
You understand?
Nothing above that.
Nothing above that. So those are the type of things, when you look at that, when you look at our society, we have a lot of people who are educated, but what are they doing? You have a business or maybe let's say you have a business degree.
Yeah.
You're doing business management, but you can't even start your own business.
You go run someone else's
You understand?
business, not even
That is where now you need to understand, Wutsi, colonialists, like the way they operate, it's a contributing factor to what we are actually living right now. They saw Uguti, they gave us apartheid or whatever form of racism they had.
Yeah.
But we found comforts to each other, like a man and a woman.
Yeah.
And as a man and a woman will build a happy home. And we have had happy homes even though we don't have privileges. And even for that, for them, it was a problem. What the fuck? We tried to do this, now they're still united. And now they're segregating us in terms of what? Gender. Now a man and a woman,
perfectly.
exactly, it's working, dog. It's working. Yabona, they will be so quick to point out women abuse and so forth. But where women abuse basically is more intense on their own fucking territories. Because Tina, we brought up your wife is your mom. Because so your partner is a reflection of your mom. But now, because of society, the way we've been groomed, it's very hard for you to get a wife. Because they driven, one, what do you want? Do you want money or do you want love?
Guys, so what I'm picking up from here is that most of us are failing to take initiative,
Exactly.
right?
Exactly.
So we actually we want to go judge, point this and that, but nobody really wants to take initiative and say, you know what, I can actually change this by doing 1, 2, and 3. So we're running from the truth and hiding behind the thumb.
No, you know what I want. You know what I want you to do.
Yeah.
Next time when you have me on, because there is a song I'm gonna come into that. There's a song I'm gonna do with someone, and I'm gonna tell you about that guy.
Oh, well.
But next time when we have the podcast, right? Gifuna, kube 2 guys, you and 2 ladies.
Away.
I want us to speak about. I want you to see how women views themselves and how they view men. To them, we no longer how they looked at each other.
Yeah.
For now, women views us as a stepping stone in life, but they're failing to understand, in order for me to achieve certain things, I need a good woman by my side. That is why Adam could have lived alone if there was no need for a woman. But because God saw, you lacking here, cooking, cleaning, you more muscular, you are able to lifting, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Physical. But what about things that are like requires tenderness, nurturing and so forth? That is why a woman is there. But now because our sisters are so into this American life, again, education with no information, that is where now they are actually failing to understand what Americans are doing. They took it from us and they're changing it to their own will. You understand?
But then, man, you don't want to expose too much of that. Now,
I can't do
second
that.
podcast is coming, right? To the 2
can't.
girls. That's what I was actually planning to have, like, two guys and 2 niggas out the other
exactly.
side. I actually did promise quite a few of that a few times. So now we have it.
Yep.
Me and Chloe, we're gonna be finding these 2 guys, these 2 ladies.
Yep.
And then we're gonna be exploring much more in the part with where are we lacking in holding together as in form of gender roles, and how gender roles could have actually like saved us from a lot of shit that we're literally going through right now.
Yes, sir.
So you guys, we need you back here. So right now, click that like button, comments right there in the section, and click that follow, subscribe, click the notification bell, and follow Clone, Instagram, bruv. How do we find you?
Wema. I'm joking.
What the heck?
So it's clone underscore. It's K clone underscore SA.
I'll spell it for them right there.
Yep.
Yeah.
K clone underscore SA. That is where I'm at. You can also take me on check me on Facebook, Kylie Shemfega, clone. You can also check me on TikTok if you want.
Yeah.
Also Kylie Shemfega, clone. I mean, like most artists when they go, they just want to use their artist name. I mean, like Kylie clone. Because most people don't even know what his Nasty's name.
I'll help you out with that one. Yeah. David.
Junior. Yes.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
Shout out to that nigga.
So before we go, guys, there's this one guy I need to give a shout out to right now that I'm working with. His name is Upoizi. He's from Imlaz, and hopefully I'm gonna have him on the broadcast as well. I'll click you on that. This guy is a beast, very underrated musician. And I don't want to call him artist. I want to call him a musician. Here in South Africa, and especially like AKZN. That kid is something else, bro.
Really?
So there's a song that you're working on. It's called Ikusheshe. Obviously, it's going to be my song, but he's the one who wrote majority of the song. I just came in with my verse, and it's just sick. He's just gonna play you small snippet of it, and guys, do follow the guy. Kamalako Poezy Prince, the vocal Prince. Poezy, the vocal Prince. He's the one.
So guys, follow Clone. He's gonna be dropping us about that update as well, about that hot new fire song coming up.
Yeah.
And the featured guys, we're gonna be seeing him. I'm also gonna put it like his link right here.
Yes, sir.
So you guys stay tuned. Be back. Not for long.
Let's go. Woo.
no moose. Spectacles. Chai sush. Sama bones. Shulika pants. Yama humus. Sama screws. Sama ngegushe. Gushe. I'm no moose. Spectacles. Chai sush. Sama bones. Shulika pants. Yama humus. Sama screws. Sama ngegushe. Gushe.